This is episode 507 on the 13th of April 2022 on a very special evening episode with the National T20 Domestic World Cup on. Let's look at how the teams have fared, and tonight's match is one between Bombay Kings and Punjab Indians, with Bombay Kings having lost their first four matches, which means they need to win this match in order to stay alive in this tournament and probably listen to the song I'll Survive. Maybe, who knows? Can Bombay win this particular tournament? Well, that depends on how tonight's match goes on. So they have won the toss and elected to bowl first. So some things never change. Yesterday, Chennai, who were under pressure at the same level as Bombay were, went on to win their match after scoring over 200 runs. So how will Bombay tackle Punjab in this particular match? That's going to be the most interesting part as the two openers come out of the crease. Mayank Agarwal and Shikhar Dhawan. One of them is a certainty in the Indian team. The other one is looking to make sure that he can play one final World Cup. Will it be the 50-over World Cup or the 20-over World Cup? And as said before, will this be an audition? Because there are at least 7-8 openers who are ready to showcase that we are ready. We have got a couple of openers who are in their late 30s, couple of openers who are nearing 30, and couple of openers who are just in their mid-20s. So how will that pan out as Basil Thampi gets ready to bowl to the opener? And as always, this will be a 6-over special episode. 6 to 7 overs, and we'll see how the entire thing goes. So let's get ready as Basil Thampi will open the bowling. Now people will question, why not Bumrah? Does it matter who bowls the first over? They have a plan as Thampi bowls to Agarwal, who smashes away and goes to the boundary, beats the point fielder well. Had he stopped it, it would have been a great stop. It was short, wide, and the captain starts in style. It was short, wide, and just taps the ball. And in the fielding restriction, in the 6th over fielding restriction, he gets the ball just beyond on good effort by the fielder. But if you miss the ball, it doesn't count as a good effort. But that's not me. I would think it's a good effort. But next ball, we have seen Mayank Agarwal get out. So let's see what happens on the second ball as Humphrey steams in to Agarwal, and this time bit of swing and he lets the ball go. So good start by both the teams. So if Punjab somehow managed to get to 180, we have seen that Bombay has failed to chase 180 in the previous match. So will winning the toss backfire if they don't restrict the team to 130, 140? We saw what happened yesterday when Bangalore won the toss and decided to bowl first. After first 6 overs, Chennai were 35 for 2. Then they exploded as who will come at number 3. Now the question is, the first 4 batters in the Punjab team, all of them are openers. This time once again goes through, beats the fielder, the second boundary of the over on the 3rd ball, and now Rohit Sharma will have to alter his plans, probably push one fielder out, and he's exactly doing that because he has beaten the inner wing, and 2 glorious shots from Agarwal, who's also looking to make a mark. He's already a regular opener, but he wants to make a mark in the 50-over and 20-over game as brilliant shots. Well, fast outfield, small grounds, what else do you want to say? It's the same old cliche. Fast outfield, short, wide, enough width, no swing. It's 20 overs, there would be no swing as Thampi steams in under a bit of pressure. This time he lets it go and he goes and he steers the ball, and there's a filter over there, so they had to change the plans, and the score is 9 runs from 4 balls. So good start for Punjab, and then the question becomes, should he have opened with Bumrah? But then the question is, you want to give everyone a chance. This is a dilemma which every captain in the sport faces. Whom he should bowl, whom he should not bowl. These dilemmas, in my viewpoint, never go away. I would say just open with a spinner. Doesn't matter if there are fielding restrictions, go with it. Let's see what happens on the fourth ball. For me, matchups, analytics don't really matter. They are for those data scientists who are desperate for a job, as Humpy bowls to Dhawan, who gets it to point, and this time he can't get the ball away to the fielder. So he doesn't get off the mark, but 9 runs in the first over, Punjab have come with a plan. They don't bother if Bombay are under pressure as far as winning the tournament is concerned. And their only thing is just to make sure that they get to around 50-60 in the first 6 overs. But then everyone has been praising Liam Livingstone. The guy is coming in at number 4. He's coming in the first 4 overs when they have lost wickets. You want that to happen? You want him coming in at 20 for 2 after 3 overs and then scoring 60 or 30? As a single is taken on the last ball, and after the first over, Punjab will announce the intention with 10 runs on the board. But let's not get carried away. The second over will be bowled by Bumrah, and he will make sure that he bowls those Yorkers, slower runs, and you might see 2 runs scored on the next over. So let's not get carried away by these 10 runs. There's a bit of luck on the side of Punjab that they've managed to get 2 boundaries past the fielder, but it's a long way to go as far as this tournament is concerned. It's a long way to go. Anything is possible. Right now, which team has a greater chance of pulling it off? It's too early to say. Which team will make it to the semi-finals? As I said in my last episode, Bombay and Chennai may win. Bombay may win tonight. Chennai has won yesterday. They will get some points, but the other teams are ahead by a lot of points, so they have to make up. How do you make up? You win your next match. You make sure that if you are bowling first, you don't allow the other team to score more than 160. And when you chase that, you chase 160 in 15 overs. That's the way your net and weight will be improving. As you get ready, it's Kedek Unadkat, not Bumrah. So they're holding Bumrah back because they want him to bowl to probably Livingstone and the number 5 to 7. Let's see what happens as Unadkat bowls. And this one has been smashed away for a 6. So they have come with a plan. And now I think the management in the dugout will think what is going on. So the straight 6 just stretched down the track, and a beautiful straight 75-meter 6 in the fielding restrictions. And that's how they want to play the game. The run rate of 13.5 runs per over. Pressure is now solely on the fielding team. How will they respond? Let's see. As he bowls on the pads, a single taken. So it's 17 for no loss after 1.1 overs. And a very interesting situation is brewing right now. With over 12 runs per over, and they will continue to go at this rate. They may get out, but it's Bombay who are under pressure now. They have to do something. They have to change their plans. If they come with a template and they will bowl with Unadkat and Humpy, well, it's too early to say, but for now, let's presume that it hasn't worked. As always, Indian grounds, small grounds, any other ground in the world, and that would not be a problem. Let's be realistic. Indian grounds are small. 80 meters is not even a big ground. And that too when the boundary rope is a few meters inside. As we see, Unadkat bowling to Agarwal, who bowls a good delivery and 1.3 overs, 17 for 0. Now the whole question becomes a must-win game for Bombay. They have to do something. For me, if I was Bombay, I would have said, I'm going to bat first. I'm going to get 200 like Chennai did yesterday, and then I'm going to defend it. Because we don't know how many runs Punjab will get. We have seen them defend 180 against other teams. They We have seen them defend 160. View and things like that don't even matter. As we get ready, Natka goes to Agarwal on the pads and a single taken, no, single refused. So 1.4 overs, 17 for 0. Well, they will have to alter their plans. Will we see something at a second over? That's about giving him the confidence that yes, even if he went for 10 runs, it happens. The batters have come with that rush, they have come with that adrenaline, and now everything will calm down, change of plans, and whatever bowling straight, bowling on the stumps, these things hardly matter, but that's the way things are. As Unadkat steams in, bowling his off cutters and slower ones. Someone I would want in the Indian team, but we'll discuss that later as he steams in on the pads, but straight to the fielder, and that's a better field set, no runs. So 1.5 overs, 17 for 0, and slightly better than what happened in the first over. All the rush, all the thing that was coming out has now settled, and they will have some plan. But at this rate, if they go at this rate at around 8 runs per over, they will surely get around 180, and that's the bottom line because I say so. So, what will happen on this ball? Single, out, take a pick. He might take a single to third man, or he might just get out. As Unadkat bowls, as I guess, he takes a single to third man, but good fielding. The last 4 balls were prevented for runs because of good fielding and smart captaincy by the captain. 2 overs gone, 17 for 0. And that's a crucial moment in this particular match. Of course, when you lose your first 4 matches, you are heavily criticized that you don't have your bowling, no trend board, no Pandya brothers, under pressure. I don't think that makes a difference. It's like disrespecting the bowlers you have when we say that a team doesn't have this particular player who has been in fact the last 3-4 years. We're insulting the current group who are trying to do their best. Okay, Trent Bolt is a good bowler, he's been playing for the past 12 years, but you can't insult or take down the guys who are there. So I don't agree with any of the commentators that we miss Trent Bolt. Who's not there is not there. There's no use crying about somebody else's absence. Let's do it whatever we have. You never know. A wicket might fall in this over. The batter might commit a mistake. So let's see. As always, he's forced to bring Bumrah early. The first ball on the pads. And the ball goes for a boundary. So Bumrah just keeps on adding to the gift of boundaries for Punjab. And it's 21 for 0 after 2.1 overs. It was on the pads. And all the batter had to do was just have a tickle on it. And because of the fielding restrictions, the fine line was inside the circle. So I don't blame that fielding restrictions and do that. We have to do it. Do we really need fielding restrictions? Can't we have a thing where there are no fielding restrictions, unlimited number of overs by any bowler, make it good for everyone because there are anyways too many rules and go against the bowler. Once again, on the bats and wide has been given. I think the poor decision as far as the wide is concerned. It was a good effort by the wicket keeper and their leading to the captain whether there's an edge or not. The captain doesn't know there's some sort of miscommunication and the timer goes 0. It was a good effort by the keeper. Had he missed, he would have gone for 5 wides. Why is it a wide? Why can't the umpire be more understanding? It was not a wide. Was there an edge of the bat? No. But still, come on, don't do this. Excellent effort by the 23.5-year-old keeper. The batter came down the track. Surely you cannot be giving these a wide. Then the umpire, they don't use their own intellect. They just go by whatever is there in the book. As Bumrah bowls once again down the wicket. And once again, you can say he's struggling to get the line and length right to go over the wicket. Why then you stick to a template? Do that. Try and bowl over the wicket because he's trying to bowl the lines he would bowl to a right-handed batter. So I wouldn't blame him for that. So 2.1 overs, 23 for 0, nearly 10 runs per over, and Punjab don't mind the wides being given. As Bumrah steams in with 3 wides. Once again, this time he gets his radar right, and it is a beautiful Yorker. But the one the thing that it happens in this sport, it doesn't matter. You take a one at every instant. In fact, this even happens at a video game level, which will obviously happen when real individuals are involved in the match. So 24 for 0, 2.2 overs, nearly 10 runs to be over. You might see slow down, or Punjab will say we have got Livingston, Bedstow, and a couple of other hitters coming. So let's just go for the jugular. So what will happen with the right hand on strike? Only 7 extras given by the particular team. Actually, very interesting to see. And this one, third man was out. So a single taken, 25 for 0 after 2.3 overs. Smart batting, and third man is always peppered. And that is what really puts me off. Have all these rules. You have no ball with a no form, with a poor decisions. 1 centimeter above, and you give it a no ball, and you give it a free hit. Then everyone says you should not be bowling a no ball. The bowler cannot control a no ball. Let's be clear about that. He doesn't know what speed is he bowling at. He doesn't see the speed gun. This time, a good bouncer, and the umpire says, okay, this time I'll let you get the message. I don't think a bowler knows what speed is he bowling at. He bowled at 141, 140.3. He is not controlling that. There's a speed gun, a machine, which can be inaccurate. So I don't go by that. There's a good bouncer who was trying to ram the ball. We saw Shivam do that yesterday. Had he got a touch, he would have gone to the boundary. So a bit of luck for the bowler. As we see Bumrah steaming in to Dhawan. Once again, a good blocker, and he gets it away for a single to square leg, and the score moved on to 26 for 0 after 2.5 overs. The wides and everything, then about 9 of the over, 2 wides and 5 singles. So 26 for 0 after 2.5 overs, and Punjab have put themselves in a good position. This partnership means the likes of Livingston doesn't have to come in the fourth over at 30 for 2. How will respond if he comes at 100 for 2 in the 10th over? He'll go blind, he'll go berserk. As we see Bumrah steaming into Agarwal, this time he goes and he beats the fielder, and the luck continues for Punjab. It was a good effort. Would you call that a drop? No, but he gets 9 from the over and a couple of wides. So big on. They keep the run rate going at 30 for no loss. So after 3 overs, Punjab find themselves in a decent position at 30 for 0. And if they continue as this rate, they will get to 200. And will Bombay be able to chase 200? They can. Punjab have also got a couple of good bowlers. We saw Punjab defend 180 against another team. So who knows what will happen? But I think the decision to bowl first has backfired. We presumed that he would have Punjab at 20 for 2 and 4 overs. On the other hand, they are 30 for 0 and 3 overs. So they were betting against the house that, okay, we bowl first, restrict them to 130, and then we go bang, and get 130 in 10 overs. It's not going to happen. They might lose a few wickets, and of course, he doesn't have a couple of decent bowlers, and as a single is taken, so when there is no loyalty. Rahul Chahar was a part of Bombay till last year. He then was drafted to Punjab, except that fact. If there are restrictions on how many players you can retain, then that's a decision of the council. You can't do anything. It was a good effort. But will it go down as a drop? No, it cannot be a drop. You cannot call it a drop. It was not that. You cannot, these catches, they just stick good. If they don't, they don't. And the captain has to put his hand on the hit because that's the captain. Unless they don't have these body language, then they will think the captain doesn't care. So, I don't care. And the good ball is bowled by Natkar to Agarwal, and the score is 3.2 overs, 31 for 0. At this rate, going at 9.5 to the over, they will get between 190 and 200. And it will be interesting to see as to how Bombay respond when they get the spinners on. Because Pollard and the spinners in Murban Ashwin will play an important role in restricting it. I wouldn't use the words middle overs or end overs because I really don't care for those now. I disagree with for those terms wholehearted. As we see, Natkar was a part of Rajasthan last year, so who knows who goes into which team. Steaming into Agarwal, and Agarwal will look to back away and smash him for a six. This time he just gets an inch and the ball is not hit with power, so they will get only 2 runs and they go to 33 for 0 in 3.3 overs, carrying on the 9.5 runs per over mark. It puts less pressure on Livingston Bairstow, who can then come in the 12th over if he's to get a partnership and go berserk. You don't have to be under pressure, but it will be interesting to see as to how this whole thing pans out. I'm very curious to see as to how Bombay respond. Will they get a spinner early as Agarwal and then take a quick single and before you know, and that's an appeal for a run out. It's a direct hit and we will go upstairs and it was a risky single. Dhawan was responding to Agarwal and the fielder and Midon just went for the hit. Will this be that kind of catalyst that Bombay needs? Well, they are still safe. The battle is safe because it was a late call to run and a late call to throw. So at this point, it's 34 for 0 after 3.4 overs. A risky single, but they went for it anyway. And by the time the ball came to the fielder, the run had already been taken. And then, of course, the fielding team has to react because that's the nature of the sport. 34 for 0 after 3.4 overs. As we are 2 overs away just from the fielding restrictions and the end of this particular. So let's get ready as Dhawan gets ready and hopefully the bowler will not bowl wide or no balls or give a short delivery which the batter will swipe away for a 6 or a 4. We already seen Dhawan dance down the track and hit the bowler for a 6. Down the wicket, patch it away, straight to the fielder, smart fielding, smart field setting and no runs given this time. Interesting situation, 3.5 overs, 34 for no loss, 8.5 runs per over and a good start by Punjab and the pressure is on Bombay to take wickets. We saw what happened last night when they were after 6 overs, they were 2 for 35 and yet they went and hit 160 in the last 10. Imagine if they get 80 in the first 10, they can go for 160 in the last 10. You never know. As Punjab round the wicket, Dhawan tries to go over the top and he succeeds in going. Will they get a boundary? No, it will be cut off and they will get 2 important ones. And the score is 36 for 0 after 4 overs. So a good start by Punjab so far and the pressure is solely on Bombay to do something out of the blue to make sure that Bombay gets the wickets and Punjab doesn't get away with it. As we are only 2 overs away from tonight's episode coming to an end. So far it's been an interesting start by Punjab and they have come with a plan. They don't care who the team is. They know the other team is under pressure to win and they're looking for some catalyst and so far things haven't gone for Bombay but anything can happen. Punjab might be 90 in 10 overs, they could be 70 for 3 in 10 overs. So you can't really predict. But at this time, let's say the balance of power is on the side of Punjab. They come with that attitude, which is fine. You have 2 openers, one of them looking for a place in the team, the other one looking to cement his legacy. So who knows? Everyone is coming with their own plan. Because this is, as I said, an opportunity to audition. So who knows? As he gets the spinner on in Ashwin, who will bowl to Agarwal as Ashwin comes in. And this time a single is taken. Of course, it's a fielding restriction, so it's a risk for the captain, but he had no option. He wants to hold Bumrah back as he wants to hold him in the in the last few overs and make sure that when the likes of Odion Smith and Shah Rukh Khan and Johnny Bairstow and Livingston come, they have a Yorker bowler ready to do the job. So 4.1 overs, going at 8.5 runs per over. Good start by Punjab as Ashwin comes in and bowls to Dhawan, who steps down the track and just takes a single. So singles will be the plan against this particular bowler. He's a good bowler. He's never played for India, which is strange because that's the way you look at things. Well, he doesn't have too many options. He has Anil Mills also as one of the fast bowlers who also bowls slower balls like Bumrah, and but then every bowler has their own way of doing it. Some don't want to open the bowling, some want to come later on in the fields and make sure that they have fielders to protect them. As Agarwal goes big and beats the fielder once again, he beats the fielder and goes for 4, losing that baseball style stance, important boundary of the over, and the pressure is solely on Bombay once again. He flat bats it, fielding restrictions, goes past the fielder, and the fielder tried his best, but the ball speeds away at that pace. There is literally nothing that you can do. As Ashwin steams in to Agarwal, who comes down the track and once again takes advantage of the fielding restriction, gets another boundary. So when they're on the charge, Agarwal says, I'm the captain, I'm going to go bang, bang, bang. We saw what happened in the match between Bombay and Bangalore, where Bombay were 60 for 0 in 6 overs and then they lost 3 wickets. So, of course, they want to make sure that they make up for any kind of stoppage in the next few overs, or as they call the 11 to 15 over mark. Once again goes big, and this time he has smashed his ball away for a 6. This one has landed on the roof, and the last 3 balls have gone for 4, 4, 6, and the bowler is clearly under pressure, and Agarwal has announced his intention in style. This one, just stand and deliver. No need to move from any knees. Enough width and small rounds, nothing happening. And now you can see Rohit Sharma's expression. What have I done? Why did I bowl first? It could have me smashing their borders of 4s and 6s. But what's done is done. You can't do anything now. You have to restrict the flow of runs. You have to get your decent and good bowlers to do the job as we head into the last 7 balls of this particular match. This was a good shot, just flat batted over the fielder. As we come to the final ball of the 5th over, what will Agarwal do? 6, 4, single, 2 out. What are the possibilities? What will happen in this particular over? As he bowls to Agarwal, Ashwin, who says no, takes a quick single, risky single, gets it away, and an expensive over for Bombay. It's 17 from Ashwin, and Punjab are just racing along at this rate. So the final over of tonight's program, as he will be forced to bring maybe a certain Anil Mills into the picture, and he has no option. He may have to bring someone like a Karen Pollard. These are the feeding restrictions, so they have to go with whatever options they have. As we head to the final over of tonight's match. Final over for this particular episode. Well, 14 episodes will remain when we talk about this match on Friday and discuss that in details. But that's the way things are. Final over of the fielding restrictions, final over for tonight's program, and final over for the bowlers to do something, get a wicket on this match is running away from Bombay as Mills comes in, Agarwal pulls, and the boundaries continue to flow for Punjab. This one, when it was stopped, at the boundary. Only a single taken by Punjab. So finally, it was a good pull shot by so 54 after 5.1 overs. As the batters decided we will not hold back, and they haven't held back. So 5.1 overs, 54 for 0. Final 5 balls of tonight's match, and Dhawan comes on strike. He will try to smash the ball straight down the ground. As I predicted, he goes over point and he goes for a 6. Well, it was short, it was wide, and Dhawan took advantage of that delivery and smashed it. He wanted to join. It was a boundary, in fact. I thought it might have been a 6, but it's difficult to say what was. It looked like a 6, but it was one bounce 4. Just one bounce 4. So a good shot. 58 for 0, 5.2 overs, 4 balls remain for the fielding restriction. And Mills bowls bouncer, and the umpire says it's a wide. I disagree with it, but that's in the rules. There's nothing you can do about it. When a team is going at nearly 11 runs per over and they're looking to get to at least 200, I don't see Bombay chasing 200 if Punjab somehow make it to 200. I don't see Bombay chasing 200 at this particular juncture. As we see the third ball to be bowled by the team, as Mills steams in to Dhawan. Once again, a cut shot misses, and he ends it with a good ball. He misses, so an important dot ball in the context of the match. 3 balls remain with a wide given, a wide,
it's 20 hours.
Not a wide, and then of course 4 runs and a single. So, what can Mills do to prevent the last 3 balls from going and being expensive? He will have to make sure that the batters don't go all berserk on these last 3 balls. As he steams in to bowl to Dhawan, once again on the pads and only a single given at this juncture. So 60 runs in 5.4 overs. And at the rate at which Chennai went yesterday, I look at Punjab scoring around between 225 and 230. And you can see the locker room, the dugout, with expressions of horror. What happened? What in the world is going on? We have given them over 10 runs per over in the first 6 overs. And certainly things are not going as per plan. As we for the last 2 overs of this match. Mills to Agarwal on the pads, a huge appeal, and the umpire is unmoved and gives a wide. Will they go for the review? No, because it did not touch the glove or the pad. But I think the wides are not given with any kind of uniformity. They have to do something about the wides. There is no uniformity and there is no balance while giving wides. Of course, the people appeal, so make sure that umpire forgets the wides. Umpire are too smart nowadays. They will not be affected by that. As Mills steams in to Agarwal, who cuts it away, and he cuts it away for a single. No, it's a boundary. 65 in 5.5 overs, and the run rate stays around 11 runs per over. And the captain has, hand on the hips, can't do anything if the ball. It was a good delivery, but it was a very, very smart shot. Just deft touch, making full use of the fielding restrictions. So we are up for the final ball of tonight's program. And to get ready. Agarwal facing Mills, and Mills steaming in. This time a good blocker, and that's the end of the 6th over, 10.7 runs per over. After 6 overs, Punjab are 65 for 0, and that's the end of tonight's program.